not quality.
Well, plus there's an additional point. I have never seen anything like this in my career in over 3 decades. I've never seen so many repressed memory cases in my life, especially against one guy.
Yeah.
So the question is, if there's something awry going on, was there hypnosis? Are they using confabulation? And I don't want to get into the weeds here, but you know what? This is the kind of thing where they have a right to true cross-examination. But the Democrats don't want true cross-examination because they want Kavanaugh to go first. How does the defendant or the accused go first when he doesn't know what the accusation is? How is a defendant able to rebut and present a defense when the complaining witness doesn't give a bill of particulars as to what happened? I mean, this is so backwards. It is so obviously
then let's
an attempt. Yeah,
let's go with what you're saying.
Good.
Let's have the FBI.
I think she's okay with that.
Let's have the FBI come in and say, here is a fact basis that we can all agree on, and that's what they're calling for.
Okay, so let me ask you this one.
No, let me just say, you have a situation here where you just described, Judge, the one set of facts coming from one person, another set of facts coming from another. And then she says the party occurred. He says, I wasn't at that party.
No.
She says, I don't even know when the party was. How can he deny that he's at a party that she hasn't identified?
Well, first of all, let me explain something. When she says something, he has the right to know specifically what it is.
Okay.
But in the end, there is no way you can even consider bringing in the FBI. And my question to you is a very simple one.
Right.
Everybody's talking about, let's bring in the FBI. Well, why the hell haven't you asked the FBI to get involved? Why did Dianne Feinstein sit on this for 6 weeks? Why did she sit on it for 36 years? She was not. They knew who she was.
No. She was anonymous. And here's the thing. In this response to something you were asking about, Jesse, I think in this case, when somebody is being nominated for the Supreme Court and suddenly you have all the world's eyeballs fixed on this guy, now they're going to fly spec him. I don't care who you are. That's a fact. And so suddenly a lot of people who knew him, a lot of people have questions. Remember, in this second case, that woman wasn't coming forward, the woman at Yale.
How did they find her?
The Democrats heard stories
How did the Democrats
Well, then where is the corroborating witness who can confirm the story that they say they heard from someone?
I'm with you, Judge.
Someone
Let's send the FBI in. That's what they do. They do background
doesn't do these cases, and that's why they haven't asked the FBI.
I'll tell you what's really interesting going on today.
What's interesting is that this is all confusion and all smoke
but
and
what's
mirrors.
interesting is that Martha McCallum tonight is going to have Kavanaugh and his wife on her show. To me, this is like, wow. You mean a guy who's up for a Supreme Court nomination decides it's important to take a break and do TV?
I think he's trying to defend himself, and we do have some.
Wait a minute. Wait.
Hold on.
You can't smear a guy for trying to defend himself. There is no due process.
No, what I'm saying
at all for this guy.
No, what I'm saying is, boy, did you see the Fox poll? The Fox poll indicates now more people believe Ford than believe Kavanaugh.
Gee, what a surprise after what's been done to him. Look, if allegations are enough without witness or without evidences, you should worry about your husbands, again, your brothers, your sons, and your fathers.
And yourself.
Yes, and there needs to be a new women's movement. Call them the mama bears because they're coming for your sons.
Can you be a part of it if you're not a mom?
Yeah. Wait, by the way, you know what's going to happen is...
Don't exclude me, Greg.
No, but you know what's funny? You know what's going to happen? Because you can't nominate men anymore, you know who's going to be the Supreme Court justice.
Oh,
Judge Pirro, you're next.
No,
justice.
Let me tell you, all I'd like to do is question the two of them. That's all I want to do.
All right. More proof that the facts on Kavanaugh don't matter to Democrats. The latest left-wing smear ahead. Plus, Martha McCallum joins us to preview her exclusive interview with Brett Kavanaugh and his wife.
I was never at any such party. The other people who are alleged to be present have said they do not remember any such party. A woman who was present, another woman who was present, who is Dr. Ford's lifelong friend, has said she doesn't know me and never remembers being at a party with me at any time in her life.
Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh denying allegations against him in an exclusive Fox News interview, while at least one Senate Democrat appears to admit that the facts don't matter.
Doesn't Kavanaugh have the same presumption of innocence as anyone else in America? I put his denial in the context of everything that I know about him in terms of how he approaches his cases. He has an ideological agenda. It's very outcome-driven.
It sounds to me like you're saying because you don't trust him on policy and because you don't believe him when he says, for instance, that he does not have an opinion on Roe v. Wade, you don't believe him about this allegation about what happened at this party in 1982. Is that fair?
Well, this is why it is so important that there be at least an investigation so that there's some effort at collaboration.
Greg, effort at collaboration. I think it's called corroboration.
Yeah, there you go.
But I'll let that one go. Now, listen, I got to ask the questions now. You've got this senator saying that she doesn't believe him in the context of his decisions.
Right.
What is she trying to tell us?
Well, the mask dropped there because she's putting the denial in context means that he doesn't deserve a benefit of the doubt because of his politics or his potential policies. For example, if I said it would be like me saying I'm skeptical of progressive feminism, so I don't think a progressive feminist should get due process. That's nuts. It's scary how political warfare is redefining how we interact with each other. We're not one people anymore. We are now tribes, and this is not going to end well. Right. It's not going to be Republicans versus Democrats or men versus women. It's going to be everyone for themselves because accusations and allegations require no proof, no evidence. That means I can do it to anybody I want.
Yeah, right. But we used to live in a country where, you know what? We were Americans, and you could, in fact, go to the courts and get a fair hearing and expect impartiality.
And Lisa, that's where I want to go with this.
In this case, Orrin Hatch has already said, forget about it. I don't care what she has to. I know. Let her say.
I don't know if he said I don't care what she has to say.
Oh, yes, he did. That's what Orrin Hatch had to say.
But he said he's going to vote on. But let me ask you this, Lisa. In a he said, she said, does anyone win? And then how do the scales of justice are like this. Preponderance of the evidence is slight. Beyond a reasonable doubt is like that. That's the world that I've dealt in. Now it's like not even preponderance of the evidence. If it's equal and he said and she said, she wins.
Well, of course. I mean, we've set up this impossible environment for men with the Me Too movement. We've also used to live in a world, Juan, where you had the presumption of innocence. And Senator Hirano basically admitted that she's denying Judge Kavanaugh that simply because she disagrees with his judicial philosophy. But in all honesty, she's the only Democrat that is being honest here. She also basically admitted that she's anti-men because she said men should just shut up as well. She's fundraising off of this as well. So at least she's the only one that's showing what the Democrats' cards here is that it is political. And they've been trying to take down Judge Kavanaugh from the very beginning, and now they are essentially weaponizing allegations that have not been corroborated to try to do that.
Well, the other side to that is Republicans are trying to push through Judge Kavanaugh, and you had President Trump tweeting, let's forget about whatever this woman had to say, and you have people now like Susan Collins saying, I'm appalled that the president would say such a thing about a woman who has a serious charge.
Look, can you deny, Juan, that we were right at the 11th hour? It was about to go for a vote, and they now say they come up with this woman who doesn't know anything, doesn't have a corroborating witness, says she can't fly, she's got to drive across the country, and now the second delay is this. Come on. I mean, how much of a delay? And we got to go to the FBI. Why doesn't someone go to the FBI? I've been listening to this for 3 weeks. Go, get it done.
Oh, I thought you were saying that you opposed the FBI looking at this.
That's because they won't look at it. They don't do local crimes.
If you're
they don't do sex crimes.
Excuse me. They do Supreme Court nominees.
They do background checks if you're over 18.
Okay, so it's a background. 17. This is a background check.
They did 6 of them. They didn't know about this woman. And if the Dems found this woman, and they had to go, they found the second one, the Ramirez. Why didn't the FBI find her in the 6 background checks?
Well, remember, with the Anita Hill case, again, the Democrats were the ones who kind of forced her out into public.
I got to get your opinion.
The voice of reason, I think, needs to step in here. I would only say this. If you go to a party with your best friend, and it's a house party, and something happens, and you don't tell your best friend about it afterwards, and then the person, your best friend, who you say was at the party where this incident happened, says, I was never at this party, and I don't even know Brett Kavanaugh, and I've never even really met Brett Kavanaugh, and everybody else that you name was at the party has never met you or doesn't know you or doesn't know anything about this party. Doesn't that make your story a little bit suspicious? And then you bring onto your legal team Andrew McCabe's lawyer. What does that say about how politicized this has gotten?
You are
the Democrats have completely
reasonable man.
destroyed
you can
this confirmation
sit on
progress.
any jury on any case. What will happen when Trump and Rod Rosenstein meet face to face this week?